What's up, people? YouTube, this is bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about our annual yearly Call of Duty review. We have a new Call of Duty on the horizon, that being Vanguard, coming out in about 10 days at this point, and it's looking somewhat promising for Call of Duty, in my opinion, with this next game. So I figured I'd go ahead and give you guys my honest review of Black Ops Cold War from a multiplayer standpoint, zombies, campaign, all of that. And this first video, which is going to be one of two, is just going to cover the good parts of the game. I will have another video that comes out soon covering the bad parts of the game, which will probably be a longer video, not really sure, but in this video specifically we're going to cover all of the positives with Black Ops Cold War. Now, I truly do feel that Black Ops Cold War did a lot of things right in comparison to Modern Warfare 2019, and I feel like the game as a whole, I feel like the brand as a whole, the community has gained a lot of new fans based off of Modern Warfare. So in turn, going into Cold War, I feel like we saw a lot more complaints about the game because we just found so many more people in Modern Warfare that loved that campy, slow, don't move around much gameplay as the premier Call of Duty content. And unfortunately, Cold War, for those people, did not cater to that well. So we saw a lot of complaints, but there were some valid complaints for the game, which I'll go over later. But in this game, just kind of covering the multiplayer here, I feel like they did a lot of things really, really well. The feel of the game was nice. I feel like it might be the last time that we get an arcadey Call of Duty. I felt like this game was the closest to an old school Call of Duty game that we've had in a while. I mean, especially after Modern Warfare 2019 felt completely different than pretty much any other Call of Duty game ever because it's that new engine, it's more refined, which I think is a good thing for the series moving forward. But this game being a Treyarch title, it felt like the last true homage to a Call of Duty multiplayer feeling that we've all known and loved since 2007 or whatever it's been. I feel like this is the last time that we're ever going to have that. I don't think that we're going to get that feeling again. I think it's all going to feel like Modern Warfare 2019 or some version of it moving forward, just like all the other games beforehand felt like some version of COD 4. So in a way, that's kind of sad to think about, and I wanted to really enjoy this last truly arcadey feeling Call of Duty. Now, the time to kill in Cold War, I think, is pretty much perfect. I've always been a fan of slower time to kill. I want there to be more of an actual gunfight. I want it to reward players who can stay on target rather than people who just hit the first couple shots. I've never liked that in any game. Call of Duty Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, lots of games specifically made by Infinity Ward tend to have an insanely fast time to kill. And Modern Warfare 2019 was no different. I actually saw a graph not that long ago that showed that Modern Warfare 2019's time to kill, on average, is faster than a person's reaction time. And that is just pitiful, to be honest. So I enjoy the time to kill in Cold War, and I wish that that would remain a consistent thing moving forward. I hope that Vanguard, at the very least, has a slower time to kill than Modern Warfare 2019, but I doubt it's going to be as long as Cold War. Now, again, when it comes to maps, I feel like Vanguard definitely has better maps based off the beta compared to Modern Warfare 2019, but Cold War's maps were like classic Call of Duty style maps, the classic Treyarch maps, the 3 lanes, the, again, arcadey feeling that we've all known, arena shooters, for instance. Like, that's what Cold War felt like, and I think this is probably the last time that we're going to get that to this extent. So the maps and everything, I wish we were going to see more of that, but I really, really enjoyed the maps in this game. I can't think of a single one that I'm like, nope, this map is absolutely horrible, not playing it. I don't know if maybe my awful experience with Modern Warfare 2019 had made me so appreciative of even the worst maps in this game, but I just don't feel like any of the maps in this game are just absolutely horrendous compared to the last game that we got. And when I think about these maps, they just fit right into the standard Call of Duty map layout. So I like the maps in this game, I'll admit it. Another thing that I really liked that they brought back from Modern Warfare was the gunsmith, and how they kind of upped the ante on that with the fact that there were more attachments. You could have up to 8 attachments per weapon. I personally think that more is better. The more attachments you can have, the more customization, the more options in general is better in my opinion. I know that there are some people out there who are kind of thinking that more attachments is too much. It doesn't need to be 15 different types of sites. But I just think that the people who are watching YouTube videos, people who are really paying close attention to these kinds of things are the minority. There's a lot of people out there who have hardly even thought about YouTube and Call of Duty or Twitch and Call of Duty or whatever, and they're just using whatever makes them happy, and they're probably using some of the most horrendous attachment combinations possible, but the point is that customization has given them a layer of fun for their game, and I just think that's a positive thing. I just like having that many different options for a gun. Even if I'm not going to be using it, it's fun to think about playing Warzone and running into somebody who is using that, or just regular multiplayer and running into somebody who is using those crazy, ridiculous, awful setups. The last thing I'm really going to touch on when it comes to multiplayer is I felt like the DLC season, once it really got rolling, was good. I felt like every battle pass seemed worthy. Every battle pass seemed like it was worth the $10 that you could pay for it at a base. And I liked pretty much all the guns that they added. I don't really think of any of them as being horrible guns that I never want to use. They all felt like they had a place, and I understand some people, you know, have the argument of, oh my god, all the DLC guns are always overpowered because they want people to buy the battle pass. That may be true, but point is, they weren't so overpowered that you couldn't compete with other weapons. I don't think that there was an instance in which I was running into a DLC gun, at least in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, where I constantly felt like I couldn't compete. And they were just fun and interesting guns. So I really did like the DLC season with this game. You know, maps at the start were pretty rough, but I feel like they got better as the year went on, and I just don't have really anything to complain about, and I hope that going into Vanguard we see a very similar system, and hopefully it's even improved more and we get more stuff with every single battle pass. Now, while I just talked about the multiplayer aspect of Cold War being good and enjoyable and all of that, nothing about the multiplayer made it stand out so much that I would say this is one of the best Call of Duty games I've ever played, necessarily. It all felt kind of middle of the road to just slightly better than other games. So, that being said, the saving grace for Black Ops Cold War, which is a surprise for me, is the zombies mode. And I'm just going to be upfront here. I loved everything about zombies this year, aside from the way that some of the DLC worked, which I will talk about in the next video. But when it comes to the overall play style of the maps, the typical round-based maps, it was a lot of fun. It felt like it was, I guess, easier to an extent. Now, as the year went on, I felt like they added things to try to make it harder for people, which I was okay with. But I felt like the multiplayer experience was enjoyable enough, but the zombies experience really stole the show. So the regular maps were very replayable, in my opinion, on top of the upgrade options for your skills and your weapons and your perks. All of that stuff was so fun to me and added so many layers of replayability. And let's talk about the camo grind. There was so much to grind in this game. I mean, that included multiplayer, but again, I have more stuff I want to talk about that in the next video. But the zombies camo grind was very fun, and I technically did it almost 3 times, which again, I'll be talking about in the next video. But the camo grind was so fun, and I hope that they have a very similar system to that in Vanguard, and I hope that there's even more to it in Vanguard. The entire concept of Outbreak coming to the game, which was something completely new that we hadn't seen at all for zombies in Call of Duty, was very unique and fun, and the groundwork for something great is there. Outbreak is a lot of fun, and it lacks some depth in some areas, but Outbreak as a whole is a win for zombies, and there's just a lot that we can do with that moving forward. So zombies was by far the thing that I played the most in this year's Call of Duty. I did not play very much multiplayer. There's more that goes into that than just the overall enjoyment of it, which again, I will talk about later. But zombies was spectacular, and I hope that we get this with every installment of Call of Duty moving forward, because this is the first time that I've ever played zombies as much as I have this year. I probably played more zombies this year than I have every other year of zombies combined. That's how much zombies I've played It was really enjoyable. It felt like there was a purpose to every single game. And as a matter of fact, when I get done recording this video and editing it and all that, I'm probably going to go play zombies and work on leveling up and doing camo challenges on some of my DLC guns for Warzone. So if that tells you anything, it's a lot of fun. Now, last but not least, I'm going to touch on the campaign slightly before I end this video. Ultimately, I felt like the campaign was good enough. It wasn't super memorable, and a lot of the characters also were not super memorable. The only one that I will say that I think fit right into the Black Ops lore that I feel like I'm always going to associate with the Black Ops universe is Adler. I think they did a good job with that character, and hopefully, depending on what happens with the next Treyarch title, we see them build more on that character. Now, the campaign, I think, was your typical runtime, but for some reason, for me personally, I felt like the game was shorter than normal, which is very strange, but I don't really have a lot to say in terms of negatives about the campaign. I mean, it was a campaign, and it's not something that I'm going to think about into the future with overall quality, but it was good enough that I felt like it deserved to be there, and it was a nice little add-on to the rest of the game. Now, this is everything that I have for the positives about Black Ops Cold War. Tune in for the next video where I cover the negatives, the things I did not like, the things I thought that they could have done better in Cold War. If this video was interesting to you, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and deuces.